Tea time. Welcome everybody, Souldin of the Grin brothers here, and it's time for another episode of Tea Time. Now then, today's tea time is a bit of a special one, and it's special for various reasons, and it's also a tea time that practically feels like it should be done with a camera actually recording me. But as something I've just generally done because I think I'm a rather plain looking person, hence why I use the avatars such as Nanka and Rafi in turn, just to match it up, uses the Rafa hat thing. Anyway, I'm sidetracking myself already. Yeah, I don't do sort of the live sort of camera sort of things, but today's tea time is going to be the sort of thing which probably should be done with a camera to show things off. So you're just going to have to use your imagination. Unless I get up the nerve to actually post some pictures as well. It'd be pretty cool if I post some pictures with it, but I'd have to figure out how to work the camera and all that. Anyway, I keep getting off track. Let's first talk about one of the key things why this is a special tea time. The tea I'm trying. Basically, when I went into T2, and it is one of my first encounters with the T2 store, I ended up trying a unique tea that they were having, and it's one that they didn't sell in-store. It was a unique blend that they made themselves. It was an iced tea, but I figured if you can make it as an iced tea, you can make it as a regular tea. So I bought the very ingredients they used, and I've made this tea, this unique blend that they made in-store, or at least to the best of my abilities. I have no idea if it's going to be accurate or not, and of course I had it as an iced tea before. Anyway, I've complained terrific toffee tea with banana baked tea to make banana offee tea, or I think actual people call it banoffee tea as it's its actual name, but for some reason when I first got referred to what it was, I got referred to me as banana offee tea. Sorry, banana offee cake. Yeah, I never heard of it before until my sister-in-law. She her favourite dessert is banana offee cake, or banoffee cake as it's actually called. Again, we just know it as banana offee cake. It's weird. And that was actually the first time I tried it when we first made dessert for her. Anyway, I got this banana offee tea. In part, I got these two teas, which I like individually, on the basis I was going to let to brew some for her, a banana offee tea. Because she doesn't usually like tea, but I figured she might like this one. But I'm having a taste tester first to make sure it's actually somewhat good. And, then I was like, I can brew this well enough, I'll let her try some. I was originally going to make this tea for an entirely different tea time, a very important tea time that I do plan on covering in future, but something happened and the focus of this tea time popped up, and this is also a special tea time. This is also a very special subject that's very dear to me. And whilst the subject I'm originally going to talk about is something that's dear to me in a newer sense, in more recent times in my life, and its importance to me. What I'm about to talk about today, and which I would show off if I did the live camera thing, but I don't, is something that's very important to my childhood. I've known it, I've had it around me since I was born. In fact, around the time I was born, the company behind it was starting to decline and die. But some of you may have heard me mention once or twice the very first video game I ever played, on the very first video game system I played. That was Bubble and Squeak, and it was a game that I played on the Amiga 1200, or Amiga 1200 if you prefer. And the past week, we've been sorting out, my family and I, the house and the garage in order to prepare a barbecue. We're having a very big barbecue. And whilst doing so, my dad ended up retrieving from the garage loft a cardboard box filled to the brim with Amiga stuff and the Amiga 1200. And oh my gosh, it is so nice to see this thing again. It's been years. And the thing is, I've gone into a lot of sort of YouTubers lately, watched quite a few YouTubers who cover this sort of subject, cover stuff on the Amiga from time to time. It's a pixel thing, nostalgia nerd, and I watch the occasional Kim Justice video. They have covered quite a bit of British gaming history. I think someone that you may know more likely know, Guru Larry and Daniel Ibertson. Yeah, it's Daniel Ibertson. they've also covered the subject of Amiga from time to time in their videos, because Amiga is hugely important to the British gaming scene. Despite being an American product, it was the leading sort of home computer. Not console, home computer. And it was an amazing machine that's touched a lot of, particularly British gamers' lives. It was a starting point for a lot of them. And it was the very first video game system I played. Yeah, it's hard to imagine. I, who refused to basically do any PC gaming, and PC as it's now known as the wider term, because before it was IBM computers, but I started off with a personal computer as my choice. A personal computer was my first gaming system. And yeah, we're going to set this up in the game room. I don't think we're going to be able to record with it for years and years. But I'm going to set it up in the game room, and I've got the box here, and I'm going to today, may get a bit of sleep first, polish it all, and sorry, not polish it all, just dust it off and set up in here in a little safe space. And when the time comes, I'll be able to play on it. So I'm just going to, bit by bit, take bits of it out and put it down out here, so that when I wake up in the morning, I can dust it all off and get working on and sort of setting it up all nicely. So that's first. Again, it would be great if I could show you pictures. Ooh, whoa, oh, that's attached. Ooh, well, okay. I was going to pull out the Commodore brick first, which if you could see, you'll understand why it's referred to the Commodore brick. But that's attached to the bottom at the moment. So let's see. First things, the User's Guide, AGA Supplement Multilingual Edition. Just a manual, basically. English, Dutch, Francais, Italiano, Espanol, Netherlands. Did you call it Netherlands? Tips for working with AGA. I believe that's AGA is either the art program. Okay, it's the custom chipset. The new graphics features. Yeah. So this is the graphics chip in the system is the AGA. Talk about monitor types, choosing a monitor, stuff like that. It's a short thing. Again, most people are just used to, PCs being just the Microsoft Windows, IBM sort of computers. And, okay, some people do know that, hey, Apple Macs and Linux systems actually exist. But back in the day, there was a lot more competition. There was a lot of stuff, like the Atari Falcon and, of course, Commodore's Amiga systems. And they all served the purpose. They didn't come naturally with monitors, though. Let's see, things to talk about. Let's see, first thing I've got another manual here. This time, this is one I remember quite a bit. A Team 17 game. Yes, they actually made stuff other than Worms called Quack. And yeah, it's a very basic manual. Very simple, no sort of pictures in it, but very nice little coloured picture on the front. Would have been the game case sort of picture. Quack, grab your joystick. Yeah, we use joystick to play this, or the actual keyboard on it itself. I don't understand why Rafi play, how modern day PC players play with the WASD. I use the keyboard, the keypad. Up, down, left, right. That's how you play it. Grab your joystick and take your duck through 8 magical worlds and 80 wonderful levels. Yeah, these Amiga games are huge. In this classical style arcade platform game, grab bonuses galore as you and a friend race to grab the rings that open the enchanted doors. And there's a storyline to it. 2 ducks are better than one. Yeah. We're not quite sure who it was that said it in the first place. Yep, we know that this is but dark forces are at work and a duck's life is hard. A good job really, because a good game needs seriously bad guys. We know this is a very poor excuse for a story, but it doesn't really matter to stop reading this and get playing. Yeah, that was the story of the time. Just toss that over there. I'm not going to toss the bigger stuff. And let's see, we've got some this is just a bit of paper with some codes on it. When you want Amiga, that could be even... Oh my gosh! Code list for Fury of the Furries. Anyone who's watched my top 12 favourite... Was it a top 12? I think it was a top 12. If not, it was a top 10 favourite video games. You'll know that one of my favourite video games of all time, and still within my top 10 favourites, is Fury of the Furries. And that I played on the Amiga 1200 here. Got a whole list of codes. I think this is the level select codes. Dear gosh, there's a lot of 150 codes. There was 150 levels. Oh, I think the highest we ever got was 70. Blooming heck. Let's put that over there. That's obviously, great importance. Let's see. This is for Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening. Little just manual thing. I got torn off. Kind of weird that. let's see through some of this. Product availability notice. Yeah, I don't think that's going to be of much help nowadays. Commodore went bust a long time ago. Apparently, my dad, who is not in any of my memories good at video games, won a competition playing Nigel Mansell's World Championship. And I got the instruction manual here. It's made by Gremlin. They make Nigel Mansell, a brief history, loading instructions. Insert the game disc into the default disk drive. Plug your joystick into port number 2. I hope you don't have to do that. Turn your computer and monitor. The game will now do automatically. That's nice. Oh, they give you the PC, Atari ST, and Amiga instructions, as well as installing on your hard drive. Yep. Game, races. Yeah, funny thing about the second control port, as I withdraw this early, pull out this Sega Mega Drive controller, or as Americans know it, the Sega Genesis. Yeah, this one's D-pad's a little bit loose. Love the Sega Mega Drive controller, and funny enough, it has the same controller port, as the Amiga ports for joysticks. You want to know the unfortunate problem? Sometimes they'd get a bit jammed, and the second controller port ended up, some of the pins ended up being removed in it, and it's stuck in this Mega Drive controller. So we can't use the second control port. Thank you very much, Kiris. You broke yet another system. Just going to put that there. And this is a book on the four friends, Rani and Jin singing. Yeah, that's definitely not Amiga related. Only on Amiga. That's not Amiga. That's a book for children. And I wish you could see this. You know how the old days, I'm not sure they do them anymore, you get the sort of PC games and they come in big cardboard boxes. Well, this is a big cardboard box devoted to the best Amiga game, one of the best games of all time, Fury of the Furries. I'll try and throw up an image of Fury of the Furries, or the box itself. Oh gosh, so many memories. This was such a good game. Yeah. Only 20 quid. That was actually a lot back then, you know. Got the manual in here. That is not the manual for Fury of the Furries. What is this the manual for? Xenon 2? Weird Xenon 2? Why is this manual in the Fury of the Furries box? Yeah, something I've noticed is I had a brief look before. Oh, the user's guide for the Amiga 1200. Yeah, might as well store it in the main box we'd be using. You know, it obviously has its own word and such sort of stuff. Extra stuff. Let's see. Oh, no. Errata. Okay. Presented by Flare Software Team. Trolls. Gosh. That's where my brother Kiris learnt to love Trolls. He played the game on the Amiga, and it absolutely terrified us. I mean, have you seen the Trolls? They're terrifying. I mean, they're somewhat terrifying nowadays as well. Goddamn glitter butt thing. Okay, Deluxe Paint Special Instruction Guide. Do we have Deluxe Paint? And the manual for Fury of the Furries. Oh gosh, this one's a much better one than the cracked one. It's got like 17 pages devoted to the story and gameplay and such. A coloured sort of cover. Really nicely done. Fury of the Furries was a great game. You played as 4 different furries. Each had their own abilities. There was for some reason a Pac-Man reskin of it. I'm not sure why that was a thing, but there was. But you know, one furry had the power to shoot fireballs. Another furry had the power to swing on vines and make those vines appear anywhere. Another one had the power to swim, and another one had the power to eat blocks. And you got through like several stages for them, and oh gosh, that is so nice. Go find the floppy disk. Yeah, as I was saying, it's funny. I'm finding a lot of things I never knew we had on the Amiga. Whoa! I never knew we had game manuals. Sorry, not game manuals. Game books on the Amiga. CU Amiga, the magazine for A500, A600, A1200, and CD32 owners. Apparently, it came over the shoot 'em up construction disc and Amiga Mortal Kombat discs with it. You got Super Frog on the front cover, along with some furry bait. That's the only way to describe it. These game manuals of the past, they had so many adverts in them for... You know, it's like going onto a shopping channel. Commodore rights. Oh. Yep, news. That was the Amiga's somewhat difficult stages, I'm assuming. Let's see, what year did this one come out? January... Doesn't say. Just January on it. Still, it's so nice having... Yeah, I never knew we had magazines on the Amiga. And dear gosh, these magazines were really, really thick. And I'm not lying about the furry bag thing. There is a foxy furry in a sort of small pink top, which is barely yeah, weird magazine. This was sold to kids, and that's without her shirt. That's just straight up porn there. Wow. CD32. Yeah, CD32 actually, it says here CD32 success story. Of course, it failed in the end, but because of various issues. But the CD32 actually had a very promising start. If it had if Commodore weren't already in dire straits at the time, the CD32 could have actually taken off at least for a couple more years. I mean, I feel the PlayStation would have obviously destroyed it anyway. Even the Sega Saturn alone would have destroyed it. Hey, Fury of the Furries! Well, oh no, wait, 20 quid was a pretty good price for it. This was saying it was $35.99 at the time. Yeah, just flicking through that bit. Yeah, so much of it is devoted to adverts. Buy our products, buy our attachments. Amiga Action Magazine. I'm going to move this book because it's not one of the Amiga ones. Amiga Action Magazine, also 3 days. Body Blows Galactic. And I never knew we even had Body Blows Galactic. Apparently we do. That's the thing I ended up commenting on. We have a lot of games I never knew we had. I asked Silverwing about this, and he basically did point out the fact that we only ever played like 3 games. One of them, of course, being Fury of the Furries. Yeah, Fury of the Furries, Trolls, and we played Quack. And of course there was, oh my gosh, the game that never came out back in the day, Silly Putty. And there's a review for it. 85%. Yeah. I got released only like a few years back now, didn't it? On modern systems. Yeah, Quack we played, and we also played, what was it? Oh yeah, Bubble and Squeak, obviously. And there was another game that was with Bubble and Squeak, Rough and Tumble, I think. See You Amiga again. Turrican 3 came free with it. Another game I didn't know we had. Another See You Amiga. Magic Boy. Oh, I remember Magic Boy. Oh. Let's see if we can find that. Oh, there's another Sega Mega Drive controller in here. It's third party, but honestly, it's D-pad first better. Is this the one which broke our port? Could be. Oh, hello, dead spider thing. Ew. That one's going to need a lot of dusting off. And let's go through here, and this is for the Game Boy. I can tell that. Yeah, this is a Game Boy charger. That'll explain Game Boy stuff. More Link's Awakening stuff. And those are floppy disk stickers I just found. Yes, floppy disk stickers. I'm not kidding you. This is a time, and that's gloves. This is a time when you played your games on floppy disks. And is this? Oh no, here we go. Got the old joypad. Oh wow. It actually feels really good still. I think this is actually one of the ones which has separate fire buttons, because a lot of the problems with the sort of Amigas is that a lot of people's joypads only had one fire button. Even if they had multiple buttons, they all activated the same trigger. They were just there for convenience. And that meant a lot of designers tried to try and make their game built around one button, which of course is a fairly big limitation. Random football stuff, and let's get you out. Box of games! Let me try some of this banana off ET first. Yeah, I've got the box of games and I'm going to go through them. And of course, there's also hardware and stuff. Programs for it, such as the Word and Paint systems that they effectively had for it. Well, Workbench, I believe it's called. Amiga Workbench. Well, I added terrific toffee and banana baked together and added milk with it. So, of course, I'm expecting it to be sweet. A little bit too sweet for my taste. My preference. I did drop in an awfully big toffee nut there. So perhaps a little bit too misbalanced towards the toffee. But otherwise, very nice. I think my sister-in-law will actually enjoy that. So that'll be worth a shot. Now, let's go through some Amiga games. Let's see. Oh, we've got floppy disk protectors here and everything. Yeah, floppy disks. Floppy disks is how we played our games. You know, Fury of the Fairies I've commented on? You had one floppy disk just to show the opening cutscene. And then the other three contain what I now know is 150 levels. Trolls Disc 1, A Fury of the Fairies, Amiga Disc 4. I'll make sure they're all together. Fury of the Fairies, Amiga Disc 2. Fury of the Fairies, Amiga Disc 1. And this is a strange black one, which is blank. That could have anything on it. It's HD, it says on it. Turrican Free. Again, I didn't even know I had this. 1 megabyte only. This Sequel Mania comes to see you Amiga with the third installment of the Turrican series. Yeah, we didn't get the best version of Turrican. Turrican 2 is the best one, but 5 discs. Amiga. Fury of the Fairies has 5 discs. The hell? Draws this one. What do you do to this me? Wow, I didn't even know that. Why am I learning so much today? About things I never knew. Again, to be fair, I was born the year this started dying, so... And yet it was still my first video game system. I'm going to need to change these clothes afterwards. Locale, storage, floppy disk, Amiga fonts, Rough and Tumble, 2-in-1 sort of packs. Yeah, they decided to introduce that. We had copies of Amiga Power? Where the hell is our copies of Amiga Power? This Rough and Tumble and Bubble and Squeak came free with our copies of Amiga Power. Holy heck. Expert Draw. X copy, we've got a blank floppy disk with a copy on it. Yeah, the problem with, of course, these old computer games is, you know, on floppy disks, is, oh gosh, piracy was rampant. Piracy was expected. Quite coverage as well. I didn't know we had Mortal Kombat on it. Had Mortal Kombat's actually a pretty good one on the Amiga. I think it is. On the Street Fighter, all the Street Fighter versions have been terrible. That's a screw. That can go straight into a bin. I'm just going to put that there. Don't want that with her. Body Boys Galactic, Fury of the Fairies Disc 3. I'm going to put that with the rest of them. Yeah, Aces Animated. It's just like scrolled on. And Pen Pal. Just scrolled onto them. Yeah, another one I didn't know, which also came through with Amiga Power, which is really hilarious when you get time. Alien Breed 2, Tower Assault. I didn't know we had this at all. I have great things about the Alien Breed game. Kyrus, on the other hand, does remember it. And he says it was a nightmare to play because it's so goddamn hard, particularly when you break the stick of controller ports and no one can help you. In any case, it's funny, Team 17 were had a lot of arguments with Amiga Power because Amiga Power was the one company who thought, you know, let's, with our rating system, actually make it make sense. You know, 50 should mean average. It's not their fault that no one else did that. I found disc 2 of Trolls. And I found the game that Dad won. Nigel Mansell's won championship. Came on 2 discs. Theme Park, a bit of PM Monarchs here. Xenon 2, which I never knew we even had. Works on the Amiga 500 as well. Amiga Workbench. Yeah, that's very important to have. Amiga Extras. Aegis Animia and Schumach Constructor. There's a lot I want to sort of take advantage of here. I shouldn't have done that. Yeah, there's a lot I'm actually generally interested in seeing if I could actually serve the Amiga and use it as a computer. I doubt I could use it internet-wise as a computer. That'd be a little bit tricky. I have no idea when this tea time's coming out because, of course, it's just me rambling on about the Amiga for... This is coming up to 30 minutes of me rambling on about the Amiga. But by gosh, I love rambling on about the Amiga. Just so many things I didn't know we had on it, and it's really interesting. And of course, let's get you out, boy. Nope, the block is unattached. Let's get out the Amiga itself. I've got a lot of dusting. I've got to hoover this room again. Yeah, the control ports are on the back, I believe. No, it's on the other side. No wonder why. Oh, there's a game in it. Magic Boy, Quack, and Frontier Elite 2. We have a separate disc for Quack, though. Already inserted in. Wait, what did we get this one from? Yeah, okay, that was the free disc for CU Amiga. Yeah, I'm not sure where the controller ports have gone. Let's find out. Where's the controller ports? Were they same? No, that doesn't seem right. Let's test out. Hold on. Game 2. 1 mode. Oh, they say disc expansion. Again, to imagine for anyone who's never seen one of these, it's a keyboard. It's just a keyboard. That's what you used. Mouse, game. I'm assuming game must be game controller. That's a juggernaut of a port there. Let's find out. Ooh, let's see if it does fit. Yep. Oh, and that's the one with the missing pin. The mouse. So it's the first controller port which is missing. Yeah, it's all thing. It looks beautiful. It looks so beautiful. I wish you could see this. This is how a keyboard should be. Hello. How? Oops. Are you? Wait, there we go. It's not obviously typing up, but oh gosh, this is a thing of beauty here. Go look up an Amiga. It is literally just a keyboard. It wasn't until the Amiga 4000T model, the T meaning tower, that you actually got an Amiga with a tower. It was a big sort of thing, you know, IBM introduced, well, I think IBM introduced the tower, but it was a pretty big thing and all. And of course, one of the most iconic things about the Amiga is the fact that its charging port thing, its charging unit, its brick, is a brick. It is massive. You could club a person to death with it. And unlike the Xbox, it's actually portable. And they kept using this over and over again because they made so many of them that they used it for just about every system they had. Every single system had one of these bricks with it. And they used it. They put it to good use for the many wonderful systems that they ended up making Commodore. I mean, most of them are retreads, admittedly. And they've got a mouse there, which is been a bit clunky, but oh well. And this additional wire thing, which I have no idea. I think this connects to the TV. I don't think that's even RGB. Oh wow, that's old. Yeah, I've got to sort this out in the morning. But just to note, yeah, that was me going for the Amiga stuff. I'd wonder if I could show you some pictures of it. And I would probably make another tea time at some point, just reminiscing on my time with the Amiga. But I kind of did that for my little ramblings now. It's something I really do want to go back to and explore, you know. Because obviously, born when I was, I missed out on truly experiencing the Amiga. It died the next year, effectively. It died in 1994, or technically. And Commodore sort of lived on in a form for like the next 2 to 3 years. But really, it was dead by the time I properly started playing with the Amiga. And that's a real shame because I could have really gone into it. The Fury of the Phrase was amazing. And it was my introduction to video games. I mean, I know for sure that I'd have been introduced to video games through another way. The Game Boy and SNES and Mega Drive would have introduced me to it. But it was Amiga 1200 which came first for me. Me playing Bob and Squeak and me adoring Fury of the Furries. So yeah, anyone here in the comment section or anyone watching familiar with the Amiga, or or did you grow up with a video game system which isn't, you know, which was dead, you know, was sort of gone by and past you by the time you actually were old enough to play it and remember it? You know, you're elite, you know. Yeah, feel free to share your comments before, relive some of your memories. Cheerio, everyone, and remember, only Amiga makes it possible. That was my poor singing. I hope you enjoyed. Cheerio!